This podcast contains some magical adult language. Listener discretion is advised. And sorry, Mom.
I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to...
Whoa. You're not Mickey Mouse, you're a rat.
Rat smack! Besides, they're tourists. What do they know?
Oh, welcome to Rat Castle, a progressive chat about theme park magic without the pixie dust. I am your host for this morning, afternoon, or evening car ride, exercise, or dishwashing experience, Nathan Hartman. And with me on this wonderful panel are two of my favorite rats, including Jeanine. Hello, Jeanine.
Hello.
And Victoria. Hello, Victoria.
Hello.
So everyone's, we're the crew tonight. Sarah sadly got ill, and hopefully she'll feel better. And Dave is just rambunctious and all over the place, and he's a busy boy. So he wasn't able to make it tonight. Yes. But that's okay. We got plenty of news though. So what's interesting is, if y'all haven't watched, we released on Monday of last week the Japanese episode, which was not my plan. I actually screwed up, and that was going to be where this episode sits, because I thought, we'll take a week off and then we'll do one after D23. But honestly, once I started putting all this together, I screwed up and I went out and I thought, well, we got to do an episode, or what are we going to do? And then I looked at the stuff and I was like, we actually have a lot to talk about, which is especially after the last couple days. So we're recording this.
Yeah.
There might be some other news that pops. Just so everyone knows, we're recording this on Wednesday night of the week before. So there's probably something. But, if we don't talk about it here, they always do this thing where they kind of leak D23 stuff beforehand, even more so, and then you're like, why did you do that? There's nothing to talk about at D23 now. So if there is something we don't mention, do not worry. We have a D23 episode that we will be putting together that will be basically as soon as we can get it together post D23, because we understand that it's all sort of super information. So you're gonna get like a double dose. It'll be like one after the other, so you might get one at the end of the week too. Okay, but we have plenty, as I said, of stuff to talk about. So let's get to the news. Okay, let's see here. Where should we begin? Well, let's start at Walt Disney World. And this is actually not news in the sense of news, something that's happening, but news as in something that is being proposed by a Vulture writer, which I thought was really kind of up our alley. So, Jeanine, what is this writer at Vulture suggesting that should happen over at Hollywood Studios?
This writer, by the name of Rebecca Alter, has written an essay arguing that Muppet Vision 3D should be a National Heritage Site.
And she is correct.
And she is not wrong. She has a great take. She justifies it very thoroughly. Apparently, the Register of Historic Places has a ton of theme park, amusement park attractions, like 50 carousels alone. There's a precedent for an attraction to be a National Heritage Site, and the basis for her argument is pretty significant. It's a relic of what Disney's Hollywood Studios was originally about, which was the magic of movie making. But also, more importantly, it was the last project that Jim Henson did before his passing. That makes it pretty significant, I think, and makes it a pretty prime. I don't think that this is, it's not going to happen, of course, but I don't think it's an unreasonable argument to make.
Victoria, what do you think?
I agree, especially with the aspect that there are theme park attractions that are on the National Register. I like that Jeanine actually mentioned the carousel, because they're like she said, just carousels alone are on the National Historical Register. And I do feel like the arguments in the article itself is justified. Like she said, this is the last project that Jim Henson worked on. He was pivotal in how we see puppetry and the artistry behind it, and there's quite a few projects that we wouldn't have without it, like Sesame Street, that's still important today, like all kinds of things. So I mean, Hollywood Studios, yeah, whatever, but Jim Henson touched this, so.
Mm. Yeah, it's tricky. So when you look at the other ones, they are, for lack of a better term, architecture that runs as attraction. And this is sort of both a film that could be considered a separate entity. Not really, right? But theoretically. And then also the fact that everything happens inside of that area. And together it creates an experience. And I'm not sure that the registry has any sort of multimedia experiences as much as it has, like, I don't know, like Wonder Wheel probably is on there for Coney Island is my guess. I don't know if it is, but like it's a thing that could be fairly easily moved around and turned on. Well, not maybe easily, but could be turned on. Well, this is like multiple forms of things being put together. So I don't disagree. My thing is I think that there seems to be a need for a new category of like multimedia preservation, which allows for the idea that like, okay, this thing needs to go somewhere and be preserved. I don't think it necessarily needs to be at Hollywood Studios. If I don't know if it's kind of a big ask of any place. I think it would have to be a smaller variation, which you could do. I think honestly, like even it's a big theater in there. I don't think you need it to be as big, and you could still probably make it work. But like if the but the Puppet Museum in Atlanta wanted it, or like there are aspects where you could sort of say, okay, this should go somewhere. The kind of conversations we've had about Carousel Progress and stuff, going to like the Walt Disney Family Museum if they ever wanted to get rid of it, it's or Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. It's like these things need to be preserved, and I have no real issue saying that as Henson's last work, I think it should be. Or at least available at times. I've always sort of been I'm not sure about New Muppets, but I'm not sorry, Matt Vogel. I'm not a huge fan of his Kermit. I really am sorry about that too, because he's a dedicated guy and he does really good work. And I think his voice has gotten better. But like, if you wanted to do a new show or a Christmas show and flip it out Country Bears style, I could be okay with that as long as it was like available in some form somewhere.
I mean,
I'm glad this is.
I kind of feel the same. I kind of feel that way about. This might be weird because it's kind of the same, but it's kind of not. But I kind of feel like that with Captain EO in a way.
Oh, interesting.
Because in a way it's the same, but like they only brought it back because Michael Jackson passed.
Yeah, and.
They brought it back years after he died, though, right?
No, it was pretty much
it was
after.
immediate, pretty much.
Yeah,
and it stayed for like I think 2 years,
something like that. And then, what's weird about that one, of course, is it's since then has gotten more tainted in his legacy. I think we were sort of somewhat rose-colored a little bit, though I think it's still a complex life to try to figure out.
I think it's pretty much unchanged.
Oh, you think so?
I would say so. I mean, his movie's coming out next year, and everyone's like hyped for it. Like, I don't think he was affected.
I think if anything,
I don't know. I like him, but I don't listen to him.
Less, a less critical lens now than
I think. Post-mortem rose-colored glasses, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't disagree. I think some of these things could be, if they weren't proprietary for Disney. I mean, that's a Francis Ford Coppola film, is it not? Like, yeah, that's right. My brain doesn't want to believe it, but it's like, yeah, I think the guy who did The Godfather did that, which is true. So, yeah, I'm for this sort of. I think there's got to be a way. This is something we haven't talked about a lot, but like there's several. Defunct Plan has a VR thing they're working on, and some other people are. And I don't think that's a thing that can replace a physical thing. But I am intrigued of this idea of saying, okay, how can we preserve the experience in a 3D form so people can re-experience it fairly close to it in some form. So maybe give us a Muppet Vision VR or something. Come on, Disney, get into the VR space. Give us old. I'm constantly shocked that Disney hasn't like made them on their own, because it's
don't worry, D23
right
might fix that.
Oh, who knows? Yeah, we might be talking
knows?
out of our asses. They might have been like, we're doing 360 VR, legacy Muppet Vision. Who knows? So yeah, I think we all kind of agree on that. Disneyland. Let's go over to Disneyland with some good news. We've got a update on the cast member union.
Yeah.
We did not strike. We weren't sure what was going to happen when we last recorded.
Yeah. Great news. The 3-year contract agreement between the union of 14,000 cast members at Disneyland and Disney has officially been ratified.
Yeah.
It's solid. Minimum base wage rate of $24 an hour in 2024 for cast members, which is incredible. Most cast members will be receiving a $6.10 raise over the course of 3 years. So that's like, are they going to be ending I see this and I'm like, are they going to be paying $30 an hour in 3 years?
Oh yeah, that's actually really great. The minimum wage in Cali is 16.
Or, well, maybe not, because people are presumably below $24 an hour right now. And so they'll be getting up to some point, but $24 is going to end up here. So who knows how much of that 610 is baked in on the raise that they're getting this year. Longevity increases for senior cast members. They're revamping the sick leave policy to make it more friendly for workers.
Not stupid as hell.
Yeah, because that thing was horrendous.
Yeah. And then it's just a win all around. Congrats to them. The hard work paid off. The petitions and the buttons and the pressure.
Yeah. We'll see how they have this tendency. It's been a while, but like in the Eisner era, once people got to a certain, they've been there a while, they'd start giving them things like third shift or they would make it trickier. And that way they would kind of try to push people out so they wouldn't have to pay them at a specific rate. Now, I think the unions will be looking out for that kind of activity. But I'm always like, I don't know. I see things like this and they're happy. So I guess I'm happy, but I'm always like, oh, how is this going to, like, somehow that wily fox of Disney always like comes out ahead, and I'm too nervous. My progressive heart won't take a win. So, but yeah, I mean, I hope beyond hope, and I hope it keeps up. I don't know. They assume this is going to keep up with inflation. And now they have some extra money to spend over at a barbecue joint. Is that correct, Jeanine?
Yeah. I'm going to be real honest with you. Despite having been to Disneyland multiple times in the course of my life, I did not know this restaurant existed.
Hungry Bear?
Yes. The Hungry Bear restaurant has closed. Apparently it's been in the works for a while. There's been rumors or, discussion about it being rethemed and revamped. And it's getting the Country Bear Jamboree treatment. It is going to have music from different iterations of the Country Bear Jamboree. Menu's going to be barbecue. Shocker. I'm not sure if we know when this is going to be opening, but
I don't think they said.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll probably get some more at D23 is my guess.
Apparently the original Country Bear Jamboree opened at Disneyland Resort, or at least the Country Bear Jamboree attraction opened at Disneyland, and it closed on September 9th, 2001.
I mean, it wasn't the original. It was
the original for them.
The real show. Yeah.
For them.
That's correct.
For them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fascinating. It didn't live to see 9/11, but just barely.
Jeanine.
It's true. It's true.
It's
true.
Nuts.
It's 2 days before.
Correlation or causation? I don't know.
Exactly.
Imagine the world peace that would be brought if they brought it back.
I'm just saying there might have been. It's been 20 years, so I can joke. I'm just saying there were certain individuals that could have been like, you know what? Let's not get on those planes. Let's go to Country Bear Jamboree. That's all I'm saying.
You can't prove that that's not
right. But I like this. I like the new name, Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. I think the jamboree part, I like that. I like it, but I also sort of feel like it's gilding the lily. Like everyone's still going to call it Hungry Bear.
Yeah.
I think Hungry Bear Barbecue just comes off the tongue better in general terms.
They could have done without the jamboree.
I feel like this is all kind of in the vein of like Cosmic Rewind, Guardians of the Galaxy, like the mouthful, everything needs colons and like everything.
Hungry
like,
Bear Barbecue Jamboree, Henry's Adventure.
Connected, but it wasn't necessary because, like you said, they're just going to call it Hungry Bear anyway. Yeah,
I mean, I think that there was some very slight Country Bear references in Hungry Bear, and now they're going to be, honestly, they're giving it the Regal Eagle treatment. I mean, like Muppets and Bears unite. Like, there's something about being, like, slightly at risk, beloved attractions that get you barbecue joints at Disney for some reason.
I mean, the barbecue hit though, so
it does hit. And if it's this, I mean, I hope it's this. It's probably going to be the same barbecue, just so everyone knows. Like, which is totally fine because I would eat it all the time because it was very good at Regal Eagle. So, no complaints from me. Speaking of things that are happening over down in the other area of Disneyland, we have a couple new guests that have showed up over at Avengers Campus, and these little jabronis. We got a Wolverine and a Deadpool that have shown up over at California Adventure. Wolverine in his traditional, of course, both in their kind of costumes for the new film Deadpool and Wolverine. But of course, Wolverine is the classic. It's so weird after seeing that costume in a bad version for so long at Islands of Adventure. It's weird to see. It's really weird to see like a very nice version somewhere else. Be fair to Florida, but you can't. But anyway, they have debuted. I think these are really nice costumes. And they're playing it up because Deadpool has story time with Deadpool, and he sits down and he reads a story to everyone that has come together. It is the story of Beauty Pool and the Wolverbeast. And Wolverine, of course, shows up and is not very happy about being in the story. And then, of course, he tries to read it too, and hijinks ensue, and lots of references to things like Splash Mountain. They're really going for it. I like it. I don't know. My thing with Deadpool has always been, I find marketing for Deadpool super like stupid because you can't be like the cool kid riding the skateboard when you're marketing. Like, like you're not an edgelord. You're a marketing firm. I know you're a marketing firm. And then like, it's like, it's like meet and greet, and it's kind of cringy to like, we're going to reference some other news. We're going to talk about the Doctor Doom situation. We're going to reference that because it just happened. And it's like, okay, huh?
Did they reference that in the show?
Yeah. He mentioned that Tony Stark is now really doomed. There's some cringiness to it, but whatever. Like, it's not terrible. What do you guys think? Do you like a rated R character in your Disney park?
I saw so.
But I should mention, this man is not doing rated R things in the Disney park.
I mean,
just so we're clear.
I feel like I've heard worse things in the original Country Bear Jamboree than what this man is doing in the parks. Like,
yeah.
Like, someone was like, this is going to make my kids want to go see Deadpool. I'm like, man, there's already a theater full of children with me watching Deadpool. That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
It's too late.
And also, like, kids want things that they can't have. And that's just part of parenting, to be like, yeah. No.
Well, right, like, it's your, why is it Disney's job to tell, like, it's not on Disney for them to be like, oh, Deadpool doesn't belong there, like, like, what?
Well, and
no.
The second one, I'm trying to see if there was a first one they did it. The second Deadpool movie, they made a PG-13 edit. Do you remember that?
I do remember that, yeah.
Called Once Upon a Deadpool, and they got Fred Savage back, and they did basically Deadpool goes into Fred Savage's house, and it's the scene from Princess Bride of him being sick. But Fred Savage is like, "Don't kill me," and he's like, "I'm gonna read you a story, Fred Savage," and like that's the whole bit, which is really funny. You know, like if you wanted to do a PG-13 version, Lord knows you're going to be you're going to be busy in that editing room trying to figure out how to cut this movie down to a PG-13. But you know, whatever. I think this is a special offering. I put this in the same basket as Zombie Captain America. Like,
yeah,
it's going to be here. People will enjoy it, and it'll be gone.
For me, it's hard for me to imagine myself complaining about live entertainment in the parks.
That part.
Yeah.
You know, like just having, like they're doing something. Like it's something. The bar is in hell, but they're doing something. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like they're doing something and you don't have to pay an upcharge for it. Like,
yes, it's just extra fun stuff that maybe eats some people for a little while. And
here's what I was thinking though about this. A couple things. Thing one, if you look, he doesn't have his guns. He has chimichangas in his gun holsters, which I think is very funny.
I'm fine with that.
Or churros. I can't remember which one it is. And then what I really think, if you really think about costume design, there is no way that those are swords at all. They are just handles glued to the sheath, because there's no universe where Disney would allow a sword to be unsheathed. A kid could grab a sword. Like, it never happened in a million years.
Well, in Paris, it's baguettes.
Oh, in his... Oh, really? When he takes them out?
It's baguettes in his... that replaces the sword. I forget what replaces the guns, but it's baguettes, and it's hilarious.
It works too, because he's at Disney and he knows he's at Disney, and like it's fine. Also, this you know what? This Logan, pretty good. Looks like him. If you watch the video, sounds a little bit like him. They did a pretty good job here. We've seen some pretty rough variations on. I remember there was a Nick Fury, and I was like, that man is not Samuel L. Jackson. He's like 25 years too young. This works for me. I don't mind this. Did you all see the movie? Who saw the movie here? I
saw it twice.
Victoria, why'd you see it twice? Not that there was a reason to not to.
Oh, so
once for me.
Oh yeah,
once for Jeanine. No, usually when it's like something like superhero themed, like me and my boyfriend will go see it by ourselves, and then we'll go see it with a group, like on the weekend when everyone is not being adults.
That's fun. That's fun.
I have a tendency to end up doing that as well. I did not see it. Shocker. I know.
Yeah.
Because I saw it for you.
Yeah. And I'm not sure you would. There's not even that much lore, but I can imagine it would be something to have. You would be slightly confused.
To be fair, I've never seen Logan. I've never seen Logan.
Oh, you've seen 1 and 2? But you've never seen. Did you watch Loki?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we watched
you know
Loki.
what?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Man,
yeah.
Maybe Jeanine
I even watched The Acolyte.
Whoa! I didn't even watch The Acolyte.
I didn't even watch The Acolyte. Wow!
Jeanine is seen. It's the end of days. It's the end of days. Oh no.
Yeah.
Anyway, what'd you think, Victoria?
I feel like it was a really great, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not dedication, but I guess I'll say it was a really good love letter to the Fox X-Men movie series to start.
Yeah, let's do our best not to spoil as much as we can.
Sorry,
just to be clear.
sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, clearly there are X-Men that were in the Fox
X-Men
films. Yeah.
Not diving too much into the cameos, there was one particular I was like, fuck yes, as an X-Men fan. I was all for it. Writing was great. I like how it tied everything up nicely. Overall, I think it was like one of the best that I've seen as far as Phase 5 for Marvel. And that's
my God. Without question. It's a 4 out of 5
you
for
loved
me.
it.
It's a 4 out of 5.
I thought it was a 5 out of 5.
No, it's a 4 out of 5.
It's a 4 out of 5.
I'm not crazy.
Okay.
I would say it's a 4 out of 5 as well.
I thought you put 5 stars on your tweet.
No, you'll look again. You need to learn to count stars better.
Fair.
There is, for me, here's what I've done with every single Deadpool movie. And I forget after each one, but edgelords come out and they're very excited. And I go, ugh.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, but there's enough to get me in the theater. Okay. And then I'll go, this is legitimately thought through. And I care more about Wade Wilson and Deadpool and their emotional journey than I do about 85% of the MCU characters. Like,
exactly.
Like, look,
Yep.
I'm not shitting on Captain Marvel or the I thought the Marvels was a nice 3-star kind of film, but like that movie didn't give me reasons to care for them. It was just like, we got to keep moving. We got plot to get through. There's like legitimate moments in this movie where they just like stop and they're like, we are going to have a conversation. And like, which is insane. Like it's not a movie that it should be a lazily written, cameo fest that makes $1 billion and everybody forgets about it. And we all go, well, that was, I mean, they just Shrek'd it the whole time. It was just references and references. And yeah, there are cameos. There are references. There are, like asides and fourth wall breaking, which is all expected. And, you either like that or you don't like that out of a movie, like I'm not saying Deadpool's for everybody, but it sticks the landing. Like it just sticks the landing. And I kind of, it's upsetting to a point of like, how, like what kind of like it's so much dedication because it's been several years since the last one. And so we had enough time to sort of breathe. You wouldn't want a Deadpool movie every 2 years. We would get so tired of him, but they like, yeah, there's some convolution and like, let's get you into the MCU and yada, yada. But at the same time, and again, I won't spoil, but there are several cameos that come together and they don't just go, hey, we're a cameo. They go, hey, we're here because we want a shot at our own chance and our own thing. And you go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then it doesn't feel as, I don't know, cheap. So I think that the edgelords get a little like, oh, like all these references, blah, and then you step back. And then of course the film critics on Letterboxd, who I love, give it 1 or 2 stars, and I'm like, and they're like, oh, so stupid. And I'm like, there's no way. This is a legitimately thought out film. And like Victoria will attest, like Hugh Jackman acts the hell out of this movie. Like,
oh my God, yes. Like, incredible. Like, I mean, it's Hugh Jackman, like, obviously, but it's just like Nathan said, like, this should have been something that was kind of lazy, but like, it's not at all.
No. Weirdly, no, not at all. Like,
It's like you said, it is kind of upsetting because it's like that's what you expect out of Deadpool, but you've gotten, like I said, this is probably the best movie out of this whole Phase 5, which is crazy.
Yeah, like I shouldn't care about this idiot, and then they make me care about this idiot. And like, I think that it's good that, no spoilers, but they find a good way to sort of balance his availability in the future, without, like, I kind of just hope at some point he's going to show up in a normal PG-13 like movie and just talks to a wall, like fourth wall breaks to a wall, and everyone's like, what the hell is going on? Like,
honestly,
that would be
that
super
could be
funny.
A whole movie and I'd be fine.
My bet was there needs to be 2 versions of the same Avengers movie. There needs to be the version where everyone just kind of looks at Wade Wilson talking to a wall and goes, and it's just the PG-13 version. And then there's the rated R version that is his, like, it's the Rashomon effect. It's his version of the Avengers story and what people say. I would love that. They'll never do it. Well, I shouldn't say never. I'm shocked at this point.
I mean, they
I've
made
gotten
it
so much.
They made it. Look at where we are.
Hey, you know what? It's weird what happened. Now, what? I don't even want to give Sean Levy a lot of credit, who's the director. He's very much a journeyman. I'm not I don't consider him like a guy who makes a lot of like interesting decisions, but he works well with actors and he gives them the room to do what they need to do. And he's worked with Ryan Reynolds before several times and Hugh Jackman. And so like he didn't get in the way. And I think that's a really important too, because this is really Reynolds' vision. And when you do have a singular kind of voice, you see this, like, you know, whether you love it or not, like Thor Ragnarok had a singular kind of vision. The first two Guardians, I would say, maybe even the third that I don't like, pretty much have a singular vision. Like there's, I don't, I'm just not in. The last thing I did with, we've talked about this. The last thing I did with Jeanine is see animals be brutalized before we moved from Florida. What a time! What a time! I was already raw, and then they got to do me dirty. Anyway, let's move on to some cruise line news. Some big reveals. Victoria, we're sailing out on the Destiny. Where are we going? Where are we coming out from?
All right, so as we speak, we're actually in the midst of Disney Destiny news. So they're announcing the Disney Destiny news, which sets sail next December. Meanwhile, the Disney Treasure, which sails this December, is not done being built. So just wanted to point that out.
Patch up them holes. Get it out there.
So first big piece of news is that it's going to be deporting out of Fort Lauderdale with its sailings. I believe it's Port Everglades. I think something like that.
Yeah. By the way, big tip for everyone out there: if you're gonna go a day early and get dinner at Mai Kai in Fort Lauderdale before you head out. Because Mai Kai is one of the best tiki. It's a full Polynesian show, tiki themed. It's incredible, and it's right there, so no reason not to do it. And take me with you, because clearly you're rich if you're going on the Disney cruise. So
the more you know.
The more you know. Victoria, we have some cute rooms, I would say, for rich people.
Yeah. For rich people, hopefully I can stay in one of the peasants.
Is this more than a typical Disney cruise?
Well, these rooms are.
The rooms,
but not in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay.
So this ship is themed to, like, it has a heroes and villains theme. So there's standard
I
rooms.
remember talking about this.
But so like the standard rooms have like themes to Hercules and like other things. I think Fantasia. But then you have like one bedroom verandas, which I don't know if Nathan has a picture of it, but
I have. If you look at the agenda, I have them in sort of an order here, picture order. I have the royal suites. If you want to see those first,
we can do that.
Yeah, we have an Incredibles royal suite here. This is literally a spiral staircase into another section. Enjoy the photo, everybody.
Great.
It's really pretty, actually. It's got kind of an kind of a bit of a 60s vibe. The chairs are fun. Enjoy the photo. You're never going to be able to enter this.
I mean, if we get enough people together, it's true.
You can house a lot of people in this space. And then here's the Hercules one, or as I've been calling it, all Hercules aesthetics is just Golden Girls aesthetics.
Oh, I love this.
I'm partial to the bathroom in particular for this suite.
Oh, I have a photo of the bathroom. It's very nice.
Well, it's basically this, but it's like a little bit more gold.
Mm-hmm.
But
man, that light fixture is so cool. It's like these iridescent discs.
Yeah, it's neat.
90-degree angles from one another.
I like that it's bright and airy though. Like I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
No, this is great. I love this.
It's really, really pretty.
It reminds me of my Aunt Lisa's house when I was a kid in the early 90s.
It's hard to do Hercules. I'll give him that. What I will say is I don't mind it. I would say that with both of these, it's the same style vibe as like the Beauty and the Beast bar, Enchanted Rose at Grand Floridian, or the Mary Poppins themed restaurant there as well. Like it's this sort of, if you cross your eyes a little bit, you wouldn't be able to tell, like, because you can't see the Hercules, kind of thing, that thing in the background. And so I kind of like it. I like the vibe. overall, I don't feel it doesn't feel cheap to me. I think some people get upset.
Well, I would
They want
hope not.
yeah, some people like really want it to be hardcore, and I think that this is actually really elegant. Here, we'll run through the photos then. Here's the concierge stateroom. This is the bedroom veranda I think you were talking about.
Yes, this is the one bedroom veranda. Yes, and I think it has a dining, like a sort of dining area adjacent.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like connected, and it's Fantasia themed.
This is disappointing.
Really?
Really?
I think it's, tell me why, Jeanine. Tell me why this is disappointing for you.
Where is the Fantasia other than the cheesy poster above the bed represented in this room?
My guess is
I just don't feel it. It's
I'm
like
assuming
it
maybe
could have
the
been
dining
anything, and they
area?
just slapped a little poster over the bed.
yeah.
Like
Well,
I just went to like a random hotel near Kennedy Space Center that made space themed rooms by putting just like a picture on the wall above the bed, and this reminds me of that.
well, there's another
see
photo in the. Yeah, there's another photo in the background. The curtains probably have some design. The flooring might have some design. I get where you're coming from, though. With this one.
I see
get where you're coming from. Speaking of Kennedy, did you go to Kennedy Space Center recently?
No,
Oh, you just worked near Kennedy Space Center.
I was going bioluminescent kayaking.
Oh well.
Ooh.
Aren't you fancy? Was it fun?
Oh yes. Oh, it was amazing. It's
Yeah.
it's like being on Pandora.
Ooh, you had your own Navi River journey.
I love that.
really
for you.
did.
My wow.
It's really great. Yeah. I like that there's at least Chernobog on there. That's fun.
Yeah. I mean,
There are
Fantasia I think is a
bonds
hard
on-
concept because it's
It's-
tons of stuff.
It's a lot going on. It's very busy.
Here's
So
the
I think,
Incredibles one, Victoria. By the way,
let me see.
this is that other side.
Oh, I didn't see this photo.
Yeah. So this is the other side.
I love this vibe.
You like
I
this
love
one?
anything
better for me.
Incredibles. I think you can't go wrong with an Incredibles side.
It's such a great aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just really great with like the paneling with the fluid Art Nouveau lines, and this is it's interesting because I typically take the Incredibles as more mid-century modern and like atomic age.
Funny enough, that's how they
This is a
describe
bit-
this as mid-century.
You can see it. There's definitely influences the table, the furniture, the light fixtures, but the paneling is very Art Nouveau, and that wallpaper.
Yeah, that art
But I
paper.
dig
I'm
it.
not. I think it's probably the jungle scene is my guess, but
Yeah.
with the volcano.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Victoria, what kind of wonderful places can we eat and be entertained at in this new ship?
So they shared a lot about the dining. So one of the first things they shared was a sweet shop called Edna's. I think it's called Edna a la Mode Sweets. So, thank you. So, rather than like having her be sewing or like creating outfits, she's creating ice cream treats. So you can find like gelato, you can find ice, like regular ice cream, like cupcakes, all kinds of things. This particular eatery, they generally have these on the ships anyway. Like I think, like for the most part, it's usually like Vanellope, Wreck-It Ralph.
Wasn't
I like.
Didn't they do Inside Out for one of them recently? Wasn't that one of them?
I think it's a candy shop.
Oh, okay.
I think I could be.
You might be right. I don't remember exactly.
I don't
All I know is they have gotten, this is something my friend Dan Becker, Disney Dan, said recently, is they have gotten their money's worth out of these static figures. They have used this Edna Modes, like, I think it's in California Adventure. I think it's in Pixar Pier.
I'm almost
But-
certain it is. I'll check
Yeah.
next week. But the big one is a Lion King dinner show.
Oh, that sounds fun.
So
Yeah, it's pretty good.
it's basically just like a Lion King dinner show. They do a mashup of like the Broadway songs and like songs from the actual soundtrack, and they essentially take you on a musical journey with the Lion King and Simba and all that stuff. And they use
This
puppets.
looks really intimate.
It is. They use they use authentic African instruments. I think they use puppets too, I believe.
Love a puppet.
We love a puppet, I tell you what. They didn't mention anything about the food, but there's gonna be like live musicians and storytellers, and
Guys,
Oh.
is it weird? Sorry, Victoria. Is it weird that they've not just straight up done the Gaia show on a cruise ship by this point? Like, wouldn't like tomorrow if they were like the Star Cruiser? I mean, maybe that's why they're planning. Maybe they're planning to do some sort of day activity at the Star Cruiser. But like, it's all done. You just have to take it over somewhere and use it.
I mean,
Who
if
knows?
anything, this is completely not anything to do with it. If anything, I'm kind of confused why they're taking ideas that we originally thought were going to be for Walt Disney World and putting it on the cruise ship.
Feels like that's what they always do.
And I'm just like, so what the fuck are we supposed to eat? Like, I can't
should
afford to
roll.
go on a ship all the time. I'm
Gotta go
a
on a-
lowly
gotta go-
peasant.
I only eat on ships. That's my thing. Is I am an
You gotta get your money's worth.
aquatarian. I'm an aquatarian. I only eat on ships. So this is cool though. I mean, I think that intimacy reminded me of the Gaia show. It's very much like in your face and right there. And
Oh, well, I mean, if you look very
Is it
closely, there's a
Fifth
column.
Element to put?
oh yeah, there is a column. There's many columns so you can't see. Very true. What else we got going on?
So one they announced today is a Cruella de Vil piano lounge. So they did a nice little video too. I don't know. Oh, and there's a concept art. So in the very center there is a Dalmatian spotted themed piano. They also mentioned that Cruella de Vil herself will pop in every now and again. Funny enough, I didn't see anything about the actual drinks or cocktails that'll be there. And this will be adults only.
Oh, interesting.
So
I didn't know the adults only portion. Yeah, sure. This works for me. Why not?
I'm down.
Yeah. I just love the idea of casting someone to be Cruella de Vil, and like she just pops in, like you live on a cruise ship for 6 months, and 3 times a day you pop into the
Well, that's actually-
bar as
You do.
Cruella de Vil.
That's actually what they said in the press release. Is like a lot of the villains are just gonna pop up in like activities or like around the ship and all that stuff. Not the heroes, but like misunderstood characters like Loki and Bruno
Huh.
too. And I'm like, okay, Bruno with no Mirabelle?
Bruno's not a villain anyway. They've
Yeah,
stretched.
that's
They have stretched that shit so far. Bruno is not a villain. He's not a villain ever in the movie.
He was
he's
never
a
a villain.
victim.
No.
Yeah.
But I think that's why they're pairing him with Loki because he's misunderstood too, and he's technically not a villain
Yeah,
anymore.
but Loki kills people.
Yeah,
Not
Loki's not
anymore.
misunderstood. Loki's a murderer.
Bruno
is
just lived in
reformed.
the shadows with his rats.
Yeah, it was weird. They put him in a group with Jack Sparrow and Loki, and I'm like, that is so strange to me. But go off.
Oh, I'd watch
So-
that. I'd watch that sitcom though.
It
If
would
they
be-
lived in an apartment
Oh,
together.
but speaking of Jack Sparrow, there's going to be a Pirates of the Caribbean themed lounge.
Yeah, no pictures
Which-
yet, so I have nothing to show on that one.
Which, again, I thought that was going to be for Disney World. I thought they announced that for
but the
Disney World, but
Tortuga, I think they're still doing it. There's just like they put up a Tortuga's Treasure like pop up gift shop right now as they're working on the bigger concept.
They basically it's going to be called Cask and Cannon, which is the only thing we really know about it, and it's going to be inspired by the characters and scenes from the attractions around the world. So all the Pirates of the Caribbean attractions, apparently, and it's going to be furnished with treasures acquired. And that-
This is
I
That's
have to
gonna-
say the name of that bar sounds like a men's clothing line.
Cask
It
and Cannon.
does. Cask and Cannon, but it's going to have an extensive menu of rare specialty and vintage rums and bootleg brews.
Ooh, this is my favorite. We're gonna Haunted Mansion's like I can bring that up too because they're doing Haunted Mansion as well.
But it's
And
going to be the
that's gonna be
same
there.
one as the treasure.
Same one.
So
Yeah,
it's
same one as the
literally
treasure.
copy paste. Next.
Yeah, except of course, I'm still waiting to see footage of it because I think the Haunted Mansion is going to be a weird vibe as we've talked about before because it's supposed to be dark and scary and chill, and it won't be because it's just pretty full of people talking. But a pirates bar fits the bill for something like this, in my opinion. I think this gets the idea across of be rambunctious and yo-ho and like it and it's literally like on a boat. It's on a ship. Like it's, like you're on a ship It makes how they got Haunted Mansion first is the problem in my like. How did you go there first? That's weird to me.
I think that merch sells better.
The merch does sell better, and then if you can put it on a boat, people will buy it. And then, I mean, I'll buy it. I like Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Anything else wonderful on the cruise ship?
Yeah. So, for those who know, every Disney ship for the most part has a water coaster ride called the Aqua Mouse, and this ship is no different. But this one is going to be Villain Mountain themed, which again, this is something that they proposed for Disney World. I don't get it. I'm just like, whatever. So basically, Mickey and Minnie are going to be going on an ominous trek up the peak of Villain Mountain. They're going to face some familiar villains like the Queen of Hearts, Scar, Chernabog, and you know what they're going to do to get through it? They're going to sing a silly song, because that's what the fuck we do when we're stressed. We sing a silly song.
Sing a silly song.
The concept art is very cute.
It is.
I'm sure the song is going to be like fine, but it's going to have music, lighting, special effects, and all types of stuff. I think Dizzy Dan mentioned like it's going to have like a little funky foot smell, so I'm sure we're going to be anticipating that as well. But it looks cute. Like, I like it.
Hey, anytime they want to keep doing Paul Ruddish themed Mickey Mouse stuff, I'm all for it.
I'm for it.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, this works for me.
This looks really cute. This is, I wish they had stuff like this in the Disney water parks.
Yeah. We got a robot bird. That's all we got. And it only works half the time. So
yeah.
if you're lucky.
And this is just screens on an aqua coaster.
Yeah, it's not hard.
Come on.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take this boat, and we're going to go all the way over to somewhere I've been spending a lot of time recently thanks to the Olympics, Gay Paris. But of course, this Paris is in the 1920s, but also not in the 1920s, and it's at Universal Studios Epic Universe. What do you got for me, Victoria? What details do you have that they've released about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Epic Universe?
Of course. So first thing, happy birthday to Harry Potter, everyone's least favorite Harry Potter character. It's the truth. It's true.
Don't talk about my boy Daniel Radcliffe like that.
Daniel Radcliffe, I have no issue with. Harry Potter, that's a different story.
Harry Potter's the Mickey Mouse of the Wizarding World. He's just, for the most part, there, and he's the straight man for everybody. Like, that's his job.
And God bless him.
God bless him.
So they announced the final world for Epic Universe, which is Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. In a way, it's kind of weird, but there's two halves to it. It plays a role to be in the Ministry of Magic, and then you're also going to be transported to 1920s Paris, which is the setting, I believe, for the Fantastic Beasts film. Don't quote me. I haven't seen a single one.
I saw the first two, and that was enough for me.
I heard that's what everyone tells me.
I think the third film is when they go to Paris, which is really funny to me because nobody watched that movie.
This was clearly greenlit when that was. I mean, okay, not out yet.
let's talk about that real quick, right? Like this concept
let's
that this is the bugaboo for everybody. Is that something you can say? I think that's an okay term, right? Yes, bugaboo is fine. I was thinking of another.
It's a little racist.
There's another one that comes. No, there's another one that's worse.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, you're thinking jigaboo.
You said it. I didn't. I didn't say it. Jeanine didn't either. We're fine. We're fine.
I can say it. It's fun. To be clear, I said it. No one else.
Oh. Somehow the president of my university opened this door next to me and was like, "Oh," and then you said you did it, and I was like, "Oh," and she's like, "You're fine. You're not fired." So, okay. No. Anyway, bugaboo I think is fine. Anyway, the point being, it's in the outside exterior. The Paris segments are in 1920s. And I think there's probably going to be some show with Newt Scamander, if I remember correctly. And then,
so it's going to be like a circus show, pretty much. Like, where you can see puppets of the air.
That's cool. And then And we'll talk more about that. And then the ride takes place during it's post everything. It's like
they said it's post immediately after Voldemort disappears. Not like when he disappears and then he comes back, like when Harry kills him. So
yeah, when Harry's killed. So it's like right after the last movie, right?
Yes. Yeah, pretty much right after the last movie. We're not counting the play. So
no one does. No
is,
one should ever.
Don't even get me started. It still pisses me off. But so make a long story short, somehow a time turner is in effect, and Dolores Umbridge has got it, and now she's using it to try to bring Voldemort back. They mentioned that there's a lot of ride tech that's first of its kind for this attraction, but to go back a little bit, to basically get into the Ministry, you're going to be going via flu powder. Like you've seen in the movie, they work with the filmmakers to make it realistic. So that way, like when you're in it, the flames actually engulf you. This is the cue.
It's going to be steam. It's going to be green steam that you're going to walk through.
You're ruining my immersion, Nathan.
It's okay. So this is the thing I don't get. They came out and said, by the way, this queue is incredible. I love it.
Oh yeah.
If this is what it looks like. Incredible.
Oh, by the way, they said this is all to scale.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I'm very, very excited. What I would say is I cannot believe that. So there's this time turner, right? And it's a broken time turner. And she wants to fix it. And my thought immediately was, oh, so we take the time turner at the beginning. We enter the Ministry of Magic in 1920s. We end up taking the time turner. We end up in the present. It's broken now. She tries to use it. But Harry saves the day, and then we use it and it breaks again. Right. And we come back to 1920. Right. That seems like okay. I can make that narrative jump. Time traveling flu powder. I can't make the narrative jump with. I can't do it.
I mean,
how long?
My immersion.
I know. I just am saying that
I don't get it.
They galaxy edged this whole thing. Like they have decided if Rise took place inside of the original trilogy, and then everything else was based on yeah, and everything else was based on a series of films that we're all sort of shrug worthy about at best. That's what this is, and I don't just
if anything, I'm a little confused by the ride system because I'm trying to find it something that's comparable to, because you're going in an elevator to the courtroom, and this is the ride vehicle. So you're going to see everything, and keep in mind these Dementors and Death Eaters apparently are not CGI.
Animatronics.
Yeah, they're animatronic, similar to what we saw for Monsters Unchained.
Yeah.
And somewhere there's a house elf. I was like, you lost me at the house elf.
It's Umbridge's house elf. She's a girl, and she's happy that Umbridge is being put on trial, and she helps Harry. And it's a way to not pay older Daniel Radcliffe. All these characters are going to be that mushy Gringotts, they're slightly far away variation, and you're going to get a lot of house elf because they can just pay a voice actress to do the house elf. It'll be much easier. So what I'm gathering from this elevator is, from what I've been able to see, it's on its own sort of up and down. I think it's like 8 feet. It's not a drop ride ever, but it can kind of lift and go, and it can also kind of teeter totter.
It's like a more souped up Forbidden Journey.
That's what it's giving.
I think it's underneath. I don't think it's any sort of Kuka arm scenario. It's more.
Dang. So they're
it's
not
more
using
like
Beyonce robot?
No, if it's more like Tower of Terror, when you come out of the area, and that's kind of the obvious, because it's an elevator. But imagine that thing as being on rails of some sort and able to actually move on its own. So that seems to be what the whole thing is about. This thing looks like a people eater.
Based on the verbiage, it doesn't seem like the flu powder thing is like a time thing. Because I went to the official. That's the. I didn't see. I'm looking at the thing now. It doesn't say anything about it. It just says like it takes you to the Ministry of Magic.
All right, hold on. Let me look at what I saw, and
maybe there's a pre-show where like it's like the Doctor Who intro, and you get warped, and then you're.
I mean, I hope you're right. That's my hope. You get warped. I like that. You go on Warp Tour. You go to the Warp Tour.
You go to the Warp Tour.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. Sorry.
Yeah, because
this is so entertaining for everybody. So what I saw was, it says, for the first time ever within the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, travel across countries and time to 1990s London using Metro Flu for a thrilling adventure set inside the iconic British Ministry of Magic. So that is both.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yep.
You're right.
Yep.
Yep, you're right. It's time travel.
I'm right.
I feel like when the Monsters Unleashed section was announced, it was like everyone was stoked. There was buzz. People were talking about it. This got announced today, and people, like the hardcore people who are tracking this sort of thing, talked about it, and pretty much no one else gives a shit.
This is my second most excitable ride.
Yeah, I saw
I mean, they're hyping it up. People are the Epic Universe executives are like, this is the most, groundbreaking ride we've ever done.
Yeah, but they say that about literally
They said that about every single thing. They even said about Super Nintendo World, and I'm like, you got 2 copies already that exist.
It's wild.
Here's what I would say. I want to be kind in some form, because I actually love the Paris setting. I don't mind it. I like
gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
I think for me, it's like, just make this Paris Nocturne Alley and call it a day, or Diagon Alley. I mean, there's no reason to. I just don't. You can have the circus in 1990s. Just put the circus then. Why Fantastic Beasts anything? You can have a Niffler they have interactive displays like all the other ones, and there's one where you wave your wand and a suitcase opens up and there's a Niffler with coins. That's adorable. You can leave it in there. But there's no reason for this to be in the 1920s. There's just not. No one.
I mean,
no one
my
cares.
Instagram needs the aesthetic, Nathan. What are you talking about?
No. You don't have to change anything because it's the magical part of Paris, right? So it can stay Art Nouveau. It can stay beautiful and have that joie de vivre. But you don't need to try to say, oh, we have flu powder that lets you go through time now. That is such a narrative jump that you're adding to canon. That's insane to me. But then again, Escape from Gringotts doesn't make any sense either. So whatever.
Now, I had a thought. Do you think, I don't know how much control J.K. Rowling has at this point, but do you think it might be a J.K. Rowling thing? Because there was a lot of decisions that were made in the original land that were really just because of J.K. Rowling.
Well, if it's a bad decision, it's her fault.
That's my point. Why? Although I will say I appreciate that the concept art makes the streets look a little bit more wider, because I cannot stand going through Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley.
Yeah, I'll put that up again. Yeah, that's so much better.
It looks wider. It looks like there's I can put my arms out.
It
There's
looks
so
like
much
a
room
real
for
city
activity.
street.
Right, it looks like a real city street.
Yeah. Diagon is better than Hogsmeade. It's so funny. It's like Hogsmeade, they're like, oh, we really didn't do a good job here. And then they're like, we'll double it. And then they doubled it in Diagon, and they're like, oh, this is still not enough. So they tripled it. Because, well, and the stupid thing, of course, and I love it, but the problem, they should have never put that dragon on top of Diagon Alley. It's a stupid idea. It stops the entire flow of the audience.
But the thing is, they did it with the Universal Monster Land, because they're gonna have that fucking windmill that sets on fire every 5 goddamn seconds, and everyone's just gonna stand there
But it'll have a better path. There'll be a better pathway, I'm sure. It'll be a wider path than the. Yes, there are 2 entrances into Diagon Alley. Everyone uses the one. Don't even quote me on the other one. No one goes through the outposts.
No one goes that way.
No one goes that way. No one. So it's no. There is, of course, you mentioned. There is this restaurant is sort of the main one. I love the vibes. This is giving me, if anyone played.
Apparently it's quick service.
Wait.
Oh, I love the Mooka.
There's outdoor seating.
There's outdoor seating.
I do love.
It's very French.
We're getting very BioShock Infinite vibes off of some of this, which I really like too. If you've played that, there's a lot of Art Nouveau in BioShock Infinite. God, I'm a nerd. What's this called? This one's called
La Cafe de la Sirene.
Okay.
Siren?
Here's my thing. All of these restaurants are in French. Everything's in French. The gift shop's in French. I don't know. Maybe they just realized no one cares and they're going to go and they're going to enter stuff and it works. But I can just hear some guy, some papaw from Idaho trying to like, I'm looking for the whatchamacallit, the Cafe La Air de la Sirene. Like, it's just, I don't know. We're setting ourselves up here, I think, a little bit.
I mean,
for confusion.
On the plus side, there's only like one real restaurant, so I guess they can just be like, where's the restaurant?
Wow. One restaurant, one ride, one show.
Yep.
Which is wild because they showed the like fly through scene of the space and it's enormous.
Well, it's what we know.
I mean, to be fair, there probably
might be
other
more
quick service places because they did say there's going to be like a butterbeer stand and like there's going to be like a few quick service stands. So
just like, what is all?
I think they just didn't share everything.
Mm-hmm.
All these twists and turns of just facades. Like, what's all in there?
I mean, I'm sure there's more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more. And then there's the show. I think this is really pretty. If they're going to get a flying broom, that's neat. Like it's the circus and this is cool to me. This works. This could be,
I think it works.
The problem this thing is going to have, because is it outdoors, right? It's not an interior show. It's an outdoor show, right?
I want to say it's indoors, but I don't quote.
Okay. It seems like a kind of a small stage via concept art. I only ask because everyone's going to go to How to Train Your Dragon. That's the big show. So I don't know if this is going to be, honestly, kind of a slightly higher vibe than, say, the street performers in Daigon. My guess is, or the Toad Choir, my guess is yes. This is going to be bigger than that.
This is indoor, by the way.
Oh, it is indoor. Okay, so it's a legitimate show. Good for them. They have two like actual shows. Like, that's good.
I mean, to have shows at all, because Universal has not
no, they don't have. That's a very good point.
Show. Like, they have 3 empty theaters and studios. And
Fear Factor's gone. Animal Actors is gone. No, Animal Actors is still open, right?
No, Animal Actors is still open.
Okay, so that's one.
It's not at Hollywood.
No. And then theoretically, you have the Blues Brothers Street Show. So
yeah, they really have
there's
street
some.
I mean, if we're counting that, there's also the construction guys.
Yeah. Islands doesn't have any shows, does it?
I mean,
talking fountain on occasion.
If you count, technically, King Julius does a show before he does his meeting. I wouldn't count it as a. I mean, it's a show, but it's not like.
Right. Well, and they didn't. Yeah, they used to have one in Toon Lagoon.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
there's a huge stadium back there.
Yeah. They're just not used.
It's insane. Like, they just have empty stadiums. They got an empty attraction, now that I think about it, in Lost Continent that they don't use.
Yeah.
Lost Continent's just a shell.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't worry, they gotta finish this, and we got Zelda, baby. Zelda, baby. Let's go.
Baby.
You know what? Here's Victoria and I are gonna agree on this though. Do as you please with the show, Universal. It ain't no big band beat. All right. Moving
Period.
on. Period. So there we go. That's Universal. And all they've been talking about of the Wizarding World. We have some more updates from San Diego Comic-Con. So what's sort of interesting is Disney just finally kind of said, you know what? Nerd properties need to just, we're going to take Marvel. Basically, Marvel's not as cool as it used to be, so it needs to now go back to San Diego and hype up people, because they thought, oh, we're just gonna do everything at D23 because these things are
that was such a dumbass idea. I don't know why.
So dumb. So now everyone's crawling back to San Diego Comic-Con, and I think it's the right move. So we have some news. We got some, like, I don't know. We got some news about the Jude Law Star Wars show and some pictures. Not a lot. They're just kind of interviewy stuff, Star Wars wise. I don't
Like
really
little
feel like we
tidbit
learned.
stuff.
Yeah, not a lot about Star Wars. It was pretty much Marvel. First and foremost, the Fantastic Four is officially titled Fantastic Four: First Steps, and it takes place in my guess is a separate universe to start with, retro future 60s. This is so up my friggin' alley. Holy moly cannoli. If you want to just go ahead and work up that Tomorrowland ride, thanks. I'd appreciate it. Cause yeah, this rules. The score will be done by Michael Giacchino, which is perfect as well. Of course.
Nice. That's exciting. I didn't know that.
Perfect.
I mean,
Like,
he's done
right
some
up his
others.
alley.
He did the Doctor Strange score, I think, and it was pretty good.
He's been a busy guy.
He's a busy,
he is
busy boy.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely gunning to be like this generation's John Williams.
And I love that for him.
Yeah, I certainly think he has some real hits up and a couple others where people really know the theme. He's very much a theme guy. Even in Marvel movies that he's done, that Marvel's kind of known for barely having any themes except for the Avengers theme, but Strange did a pretty good job there. I think most importantly here is he did the Incredibles.
I was gonna say
soundtracks.
that, like,
and this is like, oh boy.
right.
Yeah.
Get those brass horns out. Let's go.
He has like an Exotica album out
Yes,
right
he
now.
does. So it's like tracks,
well.
tiki, exotica variations of different movie
Yeah.
themes and video game themes. It's pretty
A
cool.
full warning: there is a leak of the trailer for this out, by the
Oh, for Fantastic Four?
way. Yeah, which I have seen because I actually leaked it out. But
Okay.
It's-
Tell me.
without giving too much, it's a fucking vibe.
Oh, I'll look for it
like-
because I'm fine. Is it a good
This comes
quality?
out a year from now, and there's a trailer.
They just started filming.
They showed a clip to San Diego Comic Con. It's not like a trailer. It's just like a clip,
Oh, like a teaser.
like a teaser. Yeah,
Vibes.
And
Okay.
it
It's a
looked
vibe
real.
reel.
It's
Okay.
it's really giving Jetsons in the best way.
Yeah, baby.
Oh man.
Let's go. I'm gonna get into. I've decided I'm gonna read some Fantastic Four comics because it's been a very long time, and
Same. I should do
gonna
that.
get back in. After getting Deadpool, I thought I need to get into X-Men again too. So it's. I don't know about you all. I'm a bit of a DC comic reader boy. Weirdly, I Swamp Thing, Batman. I'd land, but I've never
Yeah.
really. Some Marvel stuff, but I'm going to get back into it. All right, here's the big news. Well, let's go to some easy news first.
Ease 'em into
Avengers is going to have 2 films because it worked last time, and so they're going to try again. And it did work last time. I'm not even being sarcastic. I will start with the second one. The second one is called Avengers: Secret Wars. And
I mean,
it's
to
coming
be
out
fair,
May-
with the storyline, it does actually need 2 films.
Yeah, it does. May 2027, if we're still all going to be around by then. And then the year before, we'll have Avengers Doomsday. And yes, Fantastic Four and Doomsday. You are correct. Dr. Doom is the new Kang. Out goes Kang, in comes Doom. That's fine.
I'm fine with that.
I don't...
I mean, it makes sense for the storyline of Secret Wars anyway, because he was the main villain for that storyline in the comics, so it makes the most sense.
Janine, are you frustrated?
Yeah, well, I'll wait.
No.
No, go ahead.
Speak
I
your
wanna hear
truth.
You cook.
No, the only comics that I have ever read have been Doctor Doom comics. I don't know what it is. I just really love. I think it started from.
That's such a
going
weird...
to-
That's so weird.
It's the ride, the Doctor Doom's Fearfall. Like, I went on that when I was
Okay.
10 years old, and I was like, I love this. And so I am just like, I'm a Doctor Doom
Janine,
girl.
you got a little
pictures-
thing for Dr. Doom?
She's got a
Yeah.
type. She's got a type.
for Doctor Doom.
I mean, I met your
just
husband. I
really-
see the resemblance, the metal face. And... The love of
We
green.
get it. Okay.
A great collection of green cloaks,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
No, so like the only comics that I've ever read have been Doctor Doom focused because that's the part of it that I like, and I'm scared.
Because the big news, of course, is that for for a total of much more than $80 million, Robert Downey Jr. is getting paid and coming back as Doctor Doom. Now, do I think this is...
I hate this.
Do I think this is desperate? Oh, and by the way, he wouldn't do it if the Russo brothers didn't. And because the Russo brothers have run out of Netflix money to burn, they are also back. I don't know. I find it fairly desperate, but I also think that like it's a huge swing and it could be very interesting. This doesn't mean that he is like... We can guarantee he's not Doom proper, like for whatever ends up being happening. Like he's
not gonna show up and be like, I'm the king of Latveria. Like he's not.
Maybe
he can't. Can he?
I don't know.
It's complicated. It's complicated because it's a multiverse story. So technically, they could twist it depending on what universe he's gonna be in, and it also depends on the Fantastic Four universe.
Yeah.
But if he's Victor Von Doom of Latveria, he's not Tony Stark. Like,
but that's
So-
the thing. He's
doesn't-
not Tony Stark. He's a variant.
but he just looks like Tony Stark.
No. What I've gathered,
He's a
there
variant.
is a comic book line about Tony Stark becoming,
I'm familiar with that.
Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
and I'm
But
pretty
I don't
sure
know if
that
that's what
is
they're
the
following.
that's
I don't know if
definitely what
that's-
they're. That's the essence.
Are
of
they doing that
that
storyline?
I mean, it would make sense because that would be that would explain that multiverse's Doctor Doom, and then it's
But yeah, actually, you're right because if they're working with many multiverses and it's Secret Wars, then it works
right.
because
And so-
Secret Wars is all the multiverses coming together. So in a way, yeah, it works.
Yeah, I think it's desperate. I truly don't believe. Well, here's a couple of things. I think Robert Downey Jr. is not dumb, and it must be very interesting. Honestly, he doesn't need the money. God, that's a lot of money, though. God, that's so much
That's a
money.
So much
ridiculous
money.
amount of
When
money.
so many people who are so integral to making movies happen are making $12 an hour, it's fucking disgusting.
It's
to me.
ridiculous that they're paying. I mean,
This
It's
is hard.
disgusting. And my husband disagrees. He's like, "Oh, but he's going to bring in more than
This
$80
is
million
hard
to the movie
because
so he's worth.
I mean, many things
Endgame
can be
made a-
true at the same time.
right, Endgame made $1 billion, right, and that means that they got to hire more people and give people raises and do things.
At $12 an hour,
Not
and people
every
are living
time.
out of their cars, and
I mean, who are you talking about? Because most people in a production are union.
Yeah, they don't make like 12 an hour.
I saw someone. I saw like at least 2 posts from people who were like, "I worked on this stuff and I was making
Oh, CGI
$15 an
Is
hour,
that the
$12 an
CGI
hour."
people you're talking
probably.
about?
Yeah, because they're just
Might
now
have been.
unionizing. So
Yeah,
I
they
wouldn't be
just
surprised.
so they're going to be paid very well because they
Yeah.
just got their union stuff. So.
Well,
I
and
mean,
here's the thing.
I don't know.
think it's
I'm willing to
it's-
let it cook.
Whatever.
I would love to be wrong. I
Sure.
would like I would be delighted. Like I am not trying to be a hater.
Mm-hmm.
I want this to be good, and that's why.
They kind of were in a bind though, because it's just like they had to fire Jonathan Majors, like they had to.
Oh, but you don't have to hire Robert Downey Jr.
That's the thing.
But that's my point. Like they can both be correct at the
Right.
same time. Like they had to fire him, but you could have.
Mm.
You could have recast Kang.
Look, I think that you could have done one Avengers movie to finish off Kang. I've said this since the beginning, which is they have this big old Kang Coliseum meetup at the end of the one movie. You just atom bomb the shit out of it, and then here comes Denzel Washington as the one Kang that knows what's going on and is like, I'm the older, smarter Kang, and I've destroyed all the other Kangs, and now I am Kang the Destroyer. You know, like
You think Marvel got Denzel money?
if they got Robert Downey Jr. money,
I was
they
just
got
about to
Denzel
say.
money.
I don't know. Comparing Robert Downey to Denzel is kind of crazy to me. Oh no.
Look,
Oh no.
I
I'm
think
also
that I think
biased.
we have reached a point here where I don't disagree. I think I like Denzel quite a bit, and he deserves every dollar. But let's just say that like my man does stuff when he wants to do it, and at a price that is he made Enforcer movies. Or Enforcer? No. What were those called?
No, it wasn't. I don't even know what you're talking about.
What's the Denzel Washington movies? They were really good. Now I'm totally blanking. Denzel Washington. Man, I'm looking up all sorts of stuff. He did 3 of them. What?
Equalizer.
He was not enforcing. He was
Equalizer.
equalizing. And those movies aren't exactly expensive. He would do it. He was not going to cost $80 million to get Denzel Washington.
I'm not saying he's 80 billion, but all this to say, it's ridiculous.
Or get Robert Downey Jr. I'm sure no one would have an issue with a black man being replaced by a white celebrity to play Kang. I think that would go over very well.
I mean, Robert Downey's done it in the reverse order, so.
I mean, technically, he's taking away European jobs from European actors to play Von Doom. So,
Specifically
no.
Roma.
What will we do?
What will we do? Who would you like to see play Doctor Doom proper, Jeanine? Do you have like a little mood board, a little vision casting board for Dooms?
I got nothing. I don't see anything ever. I don't know who actors are anymore. I just know there has to be someone out there who's not recycled.
Yeah, there's so many people that are good.
And there has to be someone with like a Roma Eastern European background, like who could take it.
I don't know.
So there's someone. The opportunity could go to someone else.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's someone that's not known, then we wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do that though. I don't think.
Yeah,
Here's the thing: is
I
like
think they've done it before.
my favorite villains are all like, you know who I would have given to play Doom, even though he's not a strong dude.
Who?
Philip Seymour Hoffman. Give me a Philip Seymour Hoffman Doom. Like
I see the vision.
He's a little chunky boy, I know.
Yeah,
But
I can see
you watch Mission Impossible 3 and you go, this man's a good villain. He can villain out.
I can see that.
So sad. So sad. Well, he can play whatever he wants to play. Anyway, let's move on from that news. And that's kind of it. That's it. That's all our news this week. Except for, of course, our dear friend, our best friend in the whole wide world, the Astuter Computer Poem of the Week.
That's why I'm a router for the computer. Everybody needs a friend.
Oh, Astuter, it's so good to have you. What do you have this week? Do you have any wonderful news to share with us? What kind of haiku shall we get from our friend, the Astuter Computer? Downey unmasked Doom. Stark's ghost in villain's armor. New tales soon resume.
New tales soon resume?
New tales soon resume. It's called poetry, Victoria. You heard of it?
But if it's new, then never mind.
How is it resumed? No, I'm with you on this one.
Hey, cool. Hey.
It's kind of a non sequitur.
Hey, cool cats. If you're not hep to the vibe, I can't save you. You know, poetry is for the spirit that's open for it. That's all I gotta say. And if you're closed off, Victoria, what can I say? Well, of course, what I can say is that there is all sorts of fun things happening. Big news on the Nathan Hartman front. I am now producing and sort of co-hosting. I'm around in the podcast. I'm the producer. A new podcast with Disney Dan Becker called Fun Fun Fun. And you can find all the information about that at disneydan.com. It is a podcast about fun things that we want to talk about. And that's it. That's the whole topic. So we have 2 episodes out already. There's a YouTube channel. There's a podcasting feed, much like this program. And that podcast will be bi-weekly as well. In fact, if you know what, if you are part of the Nathan Hartman collection of products, you should be, in theory, at some point once it's all sort of rolling, getting a Rat Castle one week and getting a fun the next. So it's worth getting in. All the products of my I'm officially branding my company as 710 Media for all of this, as in 710 split in bowling. So that is over at DisneyDan.com. You can find all that information there. I think it'll be fun. We had Guy Selga from Touring Plans come on and talk about Country Bears, all sorts of Country Bear stuff. And then we did an episode where we talked with Dave. Have you ever heard of Dave Cobb? He's on an episode with me. And we talk about the Olympics opening ceremony because Dave did some design concepts that he pitched for the Salt Lake Olympics back in the early 2000s. So we kind of go through that whole opening ceremony, and it was kind of that's a vibe. If you didn't watch the opening ceremony, it's a vibe. And that's an interesting podcast episode to listen to too. So both of those are available on the YouTube page and on the podcast feed. DisneyDown.com. Fun. That's the podcast. Victoria, you have a fundraiser going on. Tell us about your fundraiser.
Yeah, so I have two, but it's like a 2-for-1. So basically, every year I fundraise money for the American Cancer Society and all our mother, and just run either like 1 or 2 Disney races a year. So right now for the first one, we're like $250 away from the goal, and the other one is about like $300. So obviously, if I'll give Nathan the link to put in here, but like if you feel so inclined, please donate, because every dollar, and nothing goes to me, it goes straight to American Cancer Society, and it goes to helping survivors and research and all sorts of things. Other than that, and then if you want to watch me like struggle to breathe as I go for it. But
Yeah.
I do it for
I have a separate betting pool that also goes to the Cancer Society, and it basically is will she pass out while running, and then we kind of watch the thing, and you can take your bets.
It's a delight.
Take your bets.
But,
Jeanine, do you have anything you want to promote? Just life, existence.
Your love for Doctor Doom.
Your love for Doctor Doom.
My love for Doctor Doom.
Do you have a favorite Doctor Doom comic that people should read?
I really love the one where Doctor Doom goes basically to hell to try to retrieve his mother.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
That actually does sound really good. I'm gonna look that up.
We're going to put that on our comicsology lists. Okay, so with that, you can find all stuff related to this show/podcast over at ratcastlepod.com. We have all sorts of business over there, links and such. And with that, please grab your belongings and exit to the left.
Will you stop this foolishness?
What foolishness would you like to see?
Will you get out of here?
This has been a production of 710 Media.